Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Here is the video for Newcastle United versus Chelsea. This is going to be the lineup prediction, which I will go into in a sec. But first, could you all please like, subscribe to the channel, and also follow our Instagram, Breathe and UFC. Right, so guys, I'll jump straight into it. The first thing that I have to mention really is if anyone watched Bruce's press conference earlier today, that Manquillo and Shaw are out to be expected to be up to 8 weeks. Hopefully a little bit less because we're obviously very light in centre back, and the wing back's been off too much. It's only Lewis Croft and Michael obviously and Jacob Murphy sometimes, but Bruce said he's not going to play back five anymore. So hopefully he sticks to his word. Now, do I think he will for this match? No, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'm going to start in goal. I think Bruce is going to play Darlow. Now this is kind of a different one for me because I personally think that although Darlow has been our player of the season so far, which is he's been spectacular. I wasn't expecting him to be this good, but he has been good, and when he's been called upon, he's been excellent. But I think in recent weeks, the last 2-3 weeks, I think his form started to drop a bit, and I think that because Dubravka has come back from injury, I think that the pressure is really starting to mount on Darlow, and I think it's starting to show in his performances. The first goal against Southampton, he didn't cover his near post that well in on, and then for the free kick, I think he was too far over to the left for Ward-Prowse's goal, which in my opinion he should have known because Ward-Prowse is obviously as good as he is at free kicks. Yeah, I think Bruce is going to stick with Darlow, but personally for me I'd have the Bradford back in as number one. And then onto the back five, which I'm going to pick the formation 5-4-1. Our right wing back, Bruce is going to play Emil Kraft because obviously we're playing Chelsea away, which they're going to have most of the ball, dominate possession, and they're going to be coming at us with a lot of attacks. So I don't think Bruce is going to play Jacob Murphy because obviously he's not as strong defensively as Emil Kraft. So right wing back for me is Emil Kraft. The three centre backs are Isaac Hayden, Kieran Clark, and Paul Dummett. I think Hayden will be in the back three because let's be honest, Hendrick getting sent off, and then Lascelles and Fernandez. Bruce said it's in the mix team then play. So I'm doing this line of prediction as if Fernandez and Lascelles won't play. So my back three is obviously Hayden, who will slot back in. He's done a fantastic job there. He can play there, so no complaints about that really. Clark, who's always very reliable when he plays there. And then Dummett, who hasn't really played that much this season because of injuries, but when he came on against Southampton, I thought he was defensively sound, so hopefully he keeps that up. And then at left wing back, Jamal Lewis, who I think in recent weeks has picked up performances, but still needs to work a bit on his defensive positioning. But yeah, it's a bit you didn't get in the likes of Joshua Willems or even Brandon Williams on off Man United because I think we really need left wing back cover. But yeah, that's it. Onto the midfield. Obviously Hayden is slotted back into centre back for the game against Chelsea in what I think, which the role I think he will take up. So obviously that leaves us a bit light midfield because Hendrick's sent off obviously, and Hayden dropped back into centre back. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Bruce does, but I would say I'm going for right mid. I would say Miguel Almiron for my, and he has to keep his place really, Mickey, like every single game, 110%. And he's since we've changed the system, he looks a lot better. He looks a lot more confident. He's scoring more goals. He's really looking like a top class player, and obviously his work ethic is absolutely unbelievable, as we're all aware. So yeah, that's a no brainer really. Miggy on the right. In midfield, I think that he'll play Shelby and he'll play Matty Longstaff beside him. I think this because obviously Hayden dropping back and Hendrick suspended, and yeah, there's not really much else because like Sean Longstaff has played the season and he's been awful. He hasn't been good enough really, and obviously Hendrick suspended. So like we have Willock there obviously, who we got on loan from Arsenal, but he's a lot more box to box, and he's a lot more he wouldn't be as strong defensively as Matty would be, for example. I know Matty's not like wonderful defensively, but he'd be a lot better than what Willock was because Matty can sit a bit back. I know he does like to go forward, but having Joe Willock and Shelby in midfield, who are both forward thinking players, but Shelby not standing back to defend, but like pinging the passes, and Matty going forward. So I think that'd be good. If we had Willock, we'd have a box to box, which could leave us open potentially in midfield if the two wingers pushed up with Sir Maximin and Amron, and then Willock in midfield. I think that could leave us a bit exposed. Yeah, so then on the left mid I already mentioned there. Alan Maxman, of course, that's the player, talisman really, from midfield, and I don't need to say much more about Maxman, do it. Like, we all know his quality, we all know what impact he can have in the game, so yeah, I think if we do play the 5-4-1, there'll be a lot of dependence on him, as there always is really when we play such a deep formation. They drag the team up the pitch, so hopefully he can work his magic again, and yeah, that's midfield. And lastly, guys, up front, I think for the lineup prediction to conclude it, I think that Bruce will play Joelinton up front, because obviously Wilson's going to be out for 8 weeks. Bruce has reported, hopefully it's not 8 weeks. Like, we are going to be properly done if if Wilson is gone for 8 weeks, because like that's obviously he's 15 goals and assists this season. That's like a lot for one player. He scored, I think, like 63, contributed to like 63% of all of our goals, I think, this season, some stuff like that. But yeah, he's going to be a huge miss up front. Obviously, big physical presence, power, pace. He has a lot. Like, he's been excellent, signing 20 million from Bournemouth still, I think. But anyway, onto the who I think will play up front. I think Joelinton will replace him up front, because I think he's the most like for Wilson, if that makes sense. Obviously, he's nowhere near as good. That's not what I'm trying to say, but he's the closest to him. Because if you look at Gale, I think Gale is pace, but he's not very strong, and he's not great in the air, and he's not great as a lone front man, I don't think. And obviously, then the other option was Andy Carroll, which I thought closely between it's either going to be Joelinton or it's going to play Andy Carroll, because they're both a lot stronger, more physical on the ball than Gale is. And obviously, if we're playing the 5-4-1 with the two low blocks and Gale, or the striker being so far forward, then you need someone who has a physical presence. So I've done toss up between Andy Carroll and Joelinton won it personally. Yeah, that's really how it goes. But I think, yeah, Joelinton will start up front, and that's the line prediction. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you all later. And also, don't forget to put your comments for your match prediction and players you think might be better off, or the system might be better off playing, in the comments below. Cheers.